Well, there's been a lot of chatter over Governor Newsom's presidential aspirations. It's been the talk in California since his re-election campaign used funds to air an attack ad against Governor Ron DeSantis in Florida. And then Newsom released another ad in 3 Texas newspapers attacking their governor, Greg Abbott. The ad promoting California's new gun law modeled after Texas's abortion bill. It comes after a new CNN poll says 75% of Democrats want someone else than President Biden in 2024. One of the top political strategists in the state, former chief of staff for former Governor Gray Davis, Stephen Maviglio, joins me now. Welcome back to Sunday Morning Matters, Mr. Maviglio. And I want to get your take first on Governor Newsom and these attack ads that he's dropped in Texas and Florida. It seems like maybe he's not the least bit worried about that re-election bid of being governor again.
Yeah, it's a cakewalk. He's going to be re-elected handily against a relatively unknown opponent. So what he's trying to do with the mountain of cash he's sitting on is get national exposure. Even during the recall, he really never talked about California issues. He was focused on the big picture. And he's been very frustrated with the way Democrats are handling their messaging nationally. And this is an opportunity for him to spend $100,000 on a few ads and probably get $50 million worth of publicity out of it. So it's a win-win for him.
So it's working, is what you're saying.
Yeah, he's got national attention. There is a poll out of New Hampshire this week about possible primary candidates in 2024 if Biden were not to run again. And he's already at 10%, which is not too shabby considering he's never stepped foot in the state.
Yeah, really, I don't know if you're reading my teleprompter or whatnot, but I was going to say that. It seems like he's laying the groundwork for this bid to the White House, even though he has said publicly he has no presidential aspirations right now.
Well, they all say that, of course, until they do. And, certainly this is just some warning shots, I think, to other contenders. It's laying the groundwork for a campaign. It's seeing if there'll be some national contributors that will rally to his side. But, it'll be an uphill fight if Biden retires. He's got his main rival is his own fellow state mate, Kamala Harris, who's sitting in the vice president's slot.
And again, that's the one thing that I guess is perplexing. How does President Biden look at this and his good friend, the VP Kamala Harris? How are they maybe soaking this in?
I think all the Democrats right now are focused on 2022. These midterm elections are going to be crucial to see if Biden even can do anything in the second half of his term. I mean, he's been president for a year and a half, and people are already talking about whether he should run 2.5 years from now. So I think Democrats need to focus on winning the Senate, retaining the House. If there's a massive wipeout of Democrats this election, then I think you'll see a lot of moves by other Democrats as soon as those results have sunk in.
We are now less than 100 days until that midterm November 8th election night. And I'm wondering, really something that maybe once again the last congressional race to be decided in this country could come down to that new District 22. Rudy Salas, the Democrat, versus the incumbent right now, Republican David Valadao. How do you see this one shaking out?
Well, you're in ground zero for the national battle for control of Congress. Certainly, if you just look at the raw numbers, things have to be looking good for Rudy Salas. This is a district that has a massive Democratic registration advantage. But if you look at the vote where he did pretty well, 45%, Valadao only got 25%. You got to look at the bigger picture, and turnout among Republicans was higher. The 55% of the vote went to Republicans as opposed to 45% for Salas. So Valadao has to consolidate all those Trump supporters who are angry with him, and Salas has to expand his base. He's a very moderate Democrat. He's not one of these flaming liberals that dominate Sacramento, and I'll see how well he can position himself, keep a little bit of distance from Biden, and talk about his record.
But Salas doesn't have too much baggage here. I mean, that last dating photo that he had on one of those dating apps, lying about his age, that won't hinder it?
I think just about every politician has baggage, but I think voters at the end of the day look at what can they do for me lately? And I think Rudy Salas has done a good job on those economic issues and water issues that are so important for the Valley in Sacramento.
I got about 30 seconds left here, and Assembly 27, that district there is going to see a couple of newcomers really running, and that's Esmeralda Soria, who's a Fresno City council member right now, and then Mark Pazin, who's obviously worked with Cal OES and a couple of administrations there. This one could be very interesting.
Yeah, this is another clear toss-up. This is one of the few districts left in California where Republicans can compete, and you have two strong candidates. Surya has attracted a lot of money from a lot of different groups across the spectrum, but Payson is well known. He was a sheriff. He's popular. He's not a true blue Trump Bible beater kind of candidate, so it'll be very interesting to see if he can appeal to some moderate Democrats and independents.
Well, the man who has the pulse on everything midterm related, Stephen Maviglio. Hey, appreciate the time.
Thank you very much.